Tariffs are getting a sequel, Kanye is releasing Donda 2, and Miles Teller's abs are going to be on our screens once again. Welcome to another episode of Rewind. Chicken Jockey's still happening, guys. We're 4 episodes deep. Chicken Jockey's still happening. We have
I hope to reach episode 100 and be like, guys, Chicken Jockey,
still
10-year
happening.
anniversary.
We're on a Chicken Jockey streak. But today, we have a lot of mixed news to cover and a lot of serious things. We're going to be like going a bit serious mode today. It's not going to be all fun and games. So, starting off with something less serious, Miles Teller is taking over our cinemas once again this year. Firstly, he's set to star in a Olympics romantic comedy called Winter Games.
I mean, it's Miles Teller with Paramount. They saw him in Top Gun. You know, they saw that still frame of him doing his dancing.
Yeah, they were just like, okay, if we get Miles Teller again, we might make another 1.4 bill. Let's see what happens.
I mean, I doubt it. There aren't that many jets, but people did show up for him dancing and doing that thing with the One Republic song.
Yeah.
So it's a romantic drama. Paramount know what they're doing. People love him.
Yeah.
This is going to be a great movie. And it's going to be in cinemas.
Yay!
Clap for the studios for like releasing a cinema movie.
Take that, Ted Sarandos. Yeah, well,
CEO of Netflix.
Basically, this film centers around a struggling skier and a self-destructive hockey legend, and they form an unlikely bond during the Winter Olympics, and we're basically seeing their struggles and their relationship and the juicy stuff. So, yeah, I'm intrigued.
It's just like, what if I taught you how to ski and you taught me how to hockey? Oh, I definitely know both of those things.
Kind of like Sabrina Oros in Switzerland, where she was like, have I ever tried this one?
Exactly. Have you ever tried this one? The one's just like, with the puck and stuff.
And Miles Teller is also producing on this movie, which is great. We love to see actor-producers rising.
Because they get that money.
He's also set to star in Possum Song, a comedy written by the Sing Sing Oscar nominee Greg Quidar. I read the synopsis of this movie, and there's not much about the plot, but I am in love. I'm going to be
what is it?
First in the movie. It is basically about a Nashville star hiding the secret that he stole all of his songs. But as he faces his career collapsing, he makes a Faustian deal with a magical possum.
This is
I'm so into this.
This is so something you'd get up to.
Guys, I have like a fascination with rodents, with possums, with badgers, with beavers, with raccoons. I love raccoons. So I'm so excited for this. I'm ready for it.
You're set.
I'm set.
A24 is releasing a new film with Dwayne Johnson, and it's actually kind of good.
He's entering his actor era, guys.
Okay, Dwayne Johnson's finally doing what everyone's been asking him to do, which is to stop putting his eyebrow up and dressing in cargo shorts and running into forests 4 times. And he's actually making a movie that can actually show off his acting talents. It has substance,
guys, and this is looking like his Golden Globe nomination.
Let's see what happens. So it's called The Smashing Machine. It's directed by Benny Safdie, one of the Safdie brothers, one of the greatest directors of all time, with A24, and Emily Blunt, right?
Playing his... So basically the movie's about... It's based on a true story about the MMA fighter Mark Kerr, and Emily Blunt is playing his girlfriend Dawn Staples. Now, fascinatingly, is that a word?
Movie?
Yes, this is their reunion, because they did Jungle Cruise together. So that's the weirdest reunion ever, to go from Jungle Cruise being like, la 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 la, on an adventure in a jungle, to like this most heartbreaking story ever.
And he's unrecognizable in this.
No, absolutely.
Like when we saw the trailer, we heard him, I'm just like, oh, The Rock voiced this guy, and Mars was like, that's The Rock.
That's The Rock.
Like
with hair.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm glad to see that he's finally like breaking out of his like wrestler era and going into an actual acting era with a director that can actually do something for him. Same thing with Dave Bautista. I think he's following the Dave Bautista thing.
When I saw him Blade Runner, I was so happy.
Yeah, right. So Dave Bautista was also in fighting, right, and then moved into acting, but he skipped doing the whole sort of cheesy acting and worked with massive directors, Denis Villeneuve and like Shyamalan and like these big actors that can create these tentpole movies that can show off their acting skills. And that's what Dwayne Johnson is finally doing here. He's taking a role that no one would expect him to do, and I'm just happy for the guy. I think this is really cool. The
Smashing Machine also stars Ryan Bader, Bas Rutten and Alexander Usyk, and hits our theatres on October 3rd.
So that's coming out soon.
Speaking of Chicken Jockey, Jack Black's 34-second Minecraft movie anthem, Steve's Lava Chicken, becomes the shortest song to enter the top 100. Now, everything about this headline is
wrong.
insane.
It's just wrong.
It's crazy. This song debuted at number 78 on Billboard's Hot 100 and has gained over 7 million streams in the US. Like, guys, why are we streaming this song?
Yeah,
it's not. It's fine.
It's not a good song. No,
it's not good though.
And also, it's 34 seconds. Like, what's that? That's a TikTok. That's not a sound. That's not a song. I mean, Jack Black is famously part of the band Tenacious D, who have had hits before. This might end up being their biggest one, like his biggest song to date.
And the Minecraft movie just features some insane artists on their music. There's Dave Grohl on drums for I Feel Alive, which is like the song at the end of the movie where everyone's like, la da da.
There was like Foo Fighter drums.
Yeah, and they have Foo Fighter drums, and there's Dave Grohl. Sure. Of course. And we have also, there's Queen of the Stone Age Troy Van on guitar, and like, it's just mind-blowing how you think of this movie as being like a childish thing, and then you have these big artists on these are really weird songs.
It clearly worked because they made something that's so catchy that in 34 seconds it hit the Billboard Top 100.
How?
I don't know. I guess attention spans are shortening.
Everything about this Minecraft movie is an anomaly, I must admit to you.
They knew what they were doing and they cooked.
At this point, Brat's summer is never ending because Charli XCX is going to both star in and produce an upcoming film by acclaimed Japanese horror director Takashi Miike. This director is known for his films such as Audition and Ichi the Killer, but she's everywhere. She's spreading
this is
like
so
the
funny
cordyceps in The Last of Us. She was about to star in Narnia as the White Witch until like it came out at the time, but she was on the list.
Yeah, this is so funny to me because, like, imagining Charli XCX with the branding that she has right now in a horror movie, she's just like, no, love, don't kill me.
She's like, no. It's kind
don't
of
go
giving.
Down there.
It's British. Parker Posey from The White Lotus, she's like, no, don't. It's just all of that.
And you just know that, like, when they cut the credits on this film, it's just going to be like a Brat banger.
Oh, 100%. We're going to have some, like, European trash techno.
Well, look, the last thing she did won a Grammy.
Yeah.
Oscar nomination for Charli XCX.
Imagine Charli XCX, the EGOT holder.
Look, she's only 3 awards away, and everyone says the Oscar, Tony, and Emmy are the hardest ones to get. The easiest ones to get. For all you Kanye fans out there, first of all...
Who are you?
Why? Second of all... Congratulations, Donda 2 is finally coming out, which is the funniest sentence I think I've ever said.
It is impressive how little cancel culture works on Kanye West.
Somehow
he manages to
I think he just
swim through
he
his
doesn't care, right? So for those of you who don't know, Kanye West is an incredibly controversial person who does it on purpose. It's not controversial to say that Kanye West is controversial. The guy loves the stuff, right? He eats it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He knows what he's doing. He's made an entire brand and $1 billion being controversial.
And he's had this. He released an album called Donda, and he said he was going to release...
Named after his mom.
Yeah, he said he was going to release Donda 2, and this Donda 2, I think, was released, and then he took it away.
Yeah.
But now it's back, guys, so if you're interested in Donda 2, it's back. It's just being streamed under the artist name of Donda.
Yeah.
Just to confuse you even further about
You used to be able to listen to it, but you had to buy his, like, MP3 player thing, and that's how you could listen to it, and then finally they just put it on streaming services. It is so funny to me that he made a sequel to an album. Yeah. I wish, like, more things had sequels. Like painting, like the Mona Lisa 2. You know what I mean? Like, what does that look like? Movies have sequels all the time. Like, we should have sequels to TV shows. Yeah. Friends 2. What's that? Not How I Met Your Father. How I Met Your Mother 2.
2. And this updated version of Donda 2 features 18 tracks with some artists such as Jack Harlow, Sean Leon, and Kim Kardashian appearing.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. And also he also dropped a short film project called Bully. It's very unclear if Donda 2 is going to remain up on streaming platforms, but I guess while it's there, go give it a listen.
And fingers crossed that if this keeps going this way, they'll finally release Despacito 2.
Yes.
The Oscars released a rule that everyone thought was already a rule and probably should have already been a rule. The Oscars made sure that every single person who votes for who's going to win the Oscar watches
watch
the movies.
Guys,
How is this not a rule?
Yes.
How
I thought
is
this
this
was
not a rule?
common sense, but I learned this after Ray Fiennes didn't get nominated because everyone thought he had already won an Oscar when he didn't.
Which he hadn't, and then they gave the Oscar to someone who had already won an Oscar.
Yeah.
And also, isn't that's a really weird reason to not give someone an Oscar?
And also, Adrian Brody gave like the longest speech ever, which was very relevant. But anyways,
That was the most brutal part of the Brutalist.
Yeah.
Having to hear his speech at the Oscars.
basically this rule aims to prevent voters from skipping out on
It's
films.
usually called the Brutalist rule.
Exactly, or playing them in the background, because if you're voting for the Oscars, watch the damn movie. That is your only job. What do you mean you just go in and don't watch a movie? They also said that this rule might help even the underdogs of movies rise up, that there are less
Because if
preferences.
they have to watch them all,
They're going to choose the best movie rather than the political choice for a movie.
it's no secret that the way to win an Oscar is to spend millions on an Oscar campaign, flood LA. Like if you're ever around LA during Oscar season or award season, all the billboards are just a massive picture of the movie and then it just says FYC, for your consideration, trying to get people to remember the movie. And then if they see Pixar's movie 100,000 times across LA and they go to vote, they'll be like, oh yeah, Pixar, my kid watched it, whatever, I'm sure that one's great, right? But what they have to do now is they have to actually watch the movies, which means that there might be Oscars given to movies that aren't so popular and don't have hundreds of millions of dollars to advertise their films. However, many people have already said that this rule is practically useless because people can just leave it running in the background.
And the worst part is that there are no penalties for false verification. So
I mean, how are you
even if
gonna
you manage to
know?
curb this rule, there are no penalties for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good step in the right direction. It's going to continue to get worse with streaming and just like how many movies there are in the Oscars. But I mean, it's a good try. This should have been done 100
20
years
years,
ago.
yeah. I was going to say 20, but yes.
100. Like, let's just go back to 100.
The battle of trying to understand America's precedent persists because Donald Trump has just announced plans to impose a 100% tariff on all films produced in foreign lands.
What that means, no one knows.
No one knows, okay, guys. And
we're
no
all-
one knows
yeah.
anything at this point.
We're all trying to figure it out and what this means for the movie industry. What this aims to do, clearly, is disincentivize American companies like Paramount, big studios, from shooting things outside of the US and inside Europe, aiming to bring productions back to the United States. The US is clearly suffering right now from the rebates that people get from shooting outside the country.
Yeah, if
So,
you don't know, there are like some insane, like Morocco, there is Sicily, even our home country, Malta, which have insane tax rebates. So basically, for any film who comes to produce and film in our country, we give them 40% back.
40%
Which is an amazing
of-
incentive, but obviously that is hurting the economy and the industry in LA and in the US. So Trump said that since this is a matter of national security, we are imposing 100% tariff. So
What
come and
that-
live
yeah.
here or else.
What that means, how they're going to actually make it make sense, we don't know yet. Studios will work around it. I mean, there are so many ways around this.
But there are some major franchises like Avatar and Mission Impossible that could be very much heavily affected, considering they film 95%
The White
of their
Lotus is
content.
over.
Yes.
Right? What are they going to do? The White Lotus, 4 seasons Orlando?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which, by the way, would be hilarious to have a bunch of Floridians in the White Lotus. But this is a clear attempt at trying to bring films back to the States. I do think that's something that's super maybe important to do right now because America's biggest export, or one of them, is entertainment. And the fact that Rob Lowe just came out just a couple of weeks ago and said that they shoot their show in Ireland because it's cheaper to take 100 Americans and fly them to Ireland and shoot the show in an Irish studio than walk across the Fox lot where the show is being created and shoot it in the States. That's a big problem. I don't see why people should have to leave the States and take all the people with them to go shoot in a building in Ireland. If you want the Irish views, sure. If you want to shoot in Rome, come and shoot in Rome. But if you're shooting in a studio, right, it shouldn't be cheaper to shoot outside the United States and use other crews.
In response to this, Gavin Newsom, who is the governor of California, has proposed a $7.5 billion federal tax incentive to keep productions like
trying
this
to compete
in
with
the
Europe.
US.
Now, they've been trying to do this for a while, so it's not like it just happened, but it just happened to be very good timing. But yeah, Gavin Newsom is doing what people have asked
doing
him
his
for a
best.
long time, which is to find a bunch of money and start incentivizing people to build back in the United States. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, although this tariff situation is legally dubious, a White House spokesperson did say that plans are in development. So we're going to have to wait and see.
Denzel Washington and Spike Lee are back with a New York City crime thriller called Highest to Lowest. Do we even need to say more?
We're so back.
We're so back. We're going to say more because it's produced by Apple TV and A24. A match made in heaven. Like, Apple TV is bringing the cash, A24 is bringing the people and the creativity and the marketing, which is something that Apple's been lacking lately. This is crazy.
So, Highest to Lowest is based on Akira Kurosawa's High and Low and Ed McBain's novel The King's Ransom. And it basically follows a businessman torn between personal ambition and saving a child's life. So this is going to be heated. This is going to be spicy. And speaking of spicy, this film also stars Ice Spice, A$AP Rocky, and so many more cast members. There are like millions to mention, but I'm just excited that Spike Lee and Denzel are like coming together again. I think this is like their 5th film.
Yeah, they've done a lot together. They're premiering this at Cannes, which makes sense. Like, Apple knows how to release their movies. This is definitely a Cannes contender. It's very difficult. Sometimes movies go to Cannes. If people don't like them, it kind of dies there. This is what happened with Joker, Folie à Deux. They thought it was that kind of movie. They sent it to the festival. It completely died there, and it was over, right? But I do think this is the right move to send it to Cannes. Its cinematographer is Matthew Libatique, who is one of the greatest cinematographers of all time.
And it's shot in New York.
Yeah, it's
who
shot
doesn't
in
love
New York.
Who doesn't love a New York-based movie, guys?
The guy shot Don't Worry Darling, Black Swan, Maestro. It's going to be gorgeous. It's Spike Lee's like latest movie. He hasn't been around for a while, but I can't wait to watch.
Bojack Horseman's creator, Rafael Bob Waxberg, is coming back to our screens with another Netflix animated comedy series called Long Story Short. Ending on a bit more of a wholesome note, we're finally getting more from this amazing writer-director.
People love Bojack Horseman. It's just that simple. And clearly Netflix did too. They gave him a bag of money, as they should have, to make even more animated comedies. I mean, there's some big people in here. I mean, it's Lisa Edelstein, Paul Reiser, Ben Feldman, Abby Jacobson, Max Greenfield, Dave Franco,
Angelique Cabral, Nicole Byer, and Michaela Dietz. I'm sad. I'm fully sad.
Schmidt and Dave Franco in the same show. Season 1's coming out soon. It's August 22nd, so they've been working on this for a while. And it follows the Schwooper siblings across different life stages, exploring their triumphs, challenges, and growth. So it seems to be like this coming of age kind of thing with the classic sad, introspective Bojack Horseman
The Bojack
twist.
Horseman spice. And Bob Waxberg is going to serve as the writer, showrunner, and executive producer, whilst Lisa Hannawalt is acting as supervising producer and original art designer. We love to see combined producers and art designers.
And it's produced and created and animated in LA. So they probably will use some outsourcing. If you guys don't know...
Let's hope it's not AI.
Yeah, let's hope it's not AI.
AI.
If you guys have seen the studio lately, you'll get that reference. It's Seth Rogen's show about the creation of TV shows. What's important here, though, is most people don't animate in LA.
No.
They outsource to European countries or Asian countries where the labor might be a bit cheaper. It also helps to have time zones offset so they can work and design things all day. Yeah. Send them off to the animators as they sleep, and then wake up to the results.
But this is insane. Yeah. This is like born and raised US production, and I'm thrilled.
Here for it. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. We're gonna
do this. We're gonna get through this together. Well, if we missed anything this week, just comment down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all our socials because
we
you
really
love us.
need this show to blow up so that we can afford to make our own Netflix movie without Netflix.